Hey everybody, welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad, I'm here with Santino.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
And Erica has become a regular on the show. Erica, what's up?
Hi everyone. I'm good. Everything seems to be all right with me. Hope you're all doing good as well.
Yes,
Awesome.
we're all doing great. How about
So,
you?
I'm good. I'm always good. Well, for the most part. But
Sure.
so we have begun
Chad.
always. So we have begun DC month.
Yes.
Over the course of the next month, we're going to be talking about everything from Man of Steel going forward. Santino and I have both seen these movies many times, but Erica has not seen these movies, and
Until
she
last
watched both of them 24. She watched Man of Steel and BVS for the first time ever about 24 hours ago. So this is going to make for some real interesting conversation, I think.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting podcast today.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm excited. They were all very, very cool movies and some interesting things, and it's definitely excited. I was messaging Santino last night while I was watching it, and he woke up this morning and he said it was very entertaining.
Yeah, because honestly, like, it's nice to see. I mean, like, Erica, you've never really been invested in the superhero genre, so it's nice that you're trying at least to get into it. I mean, like, I'm not sure where you'll fall in some of these movies, but I'm sure at least there's like a few that you like. And from last night where you said you both like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, I think it's gonna be a really good podcast today. Since like it'll be nice to be hearing your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Definitely. It'll be cool because it's like, unlike when Santino and I did the MCU, where it was just us basically regurgitating our thoughts of films we've both seen multitudes of times.
Yeah.
This time we're gonna have someone here with like a completely like fresh take on this who, again, for the first time saw them. So this is gonna be interesting.
Yes, very interesting. I'm excited.
So
I'm also left with cliffhangers too, so it's exciting there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, not but the questions for us were answered and badly so. But okay, we're we're gonna we're gonna we're gonna we're not gonna spoil that for you. We're
I would
gonna
say that's a couple weeks off still.
yeah, that's far off, man. That's kind of out there. But okay.
So let's dive right into Man of Steel.
All right.
So Santino and I will give our thoughts in a minute, but I wanted to start with Erica. Erica, so you went into this, what was your kind of like attitude, thoughts going into Man of Steel?
I thought like, okay, it's about Superman. I know a bit about Superman. I didn't know too much, and as I watched it and the certain things came up and it reminded me like, oh yeah, that's part of Superman, blah blah blah. And yeah, it was exciting. I definitely was excited to go and start. But then
So overall, once you finished it, what was your thoughts on it overall?
like my
Like, did
review
you
on
enjoy it? Were you bored by it? Was it
I
different
really
than you were expecting?
I really liked it. I thought it was very good. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed watching it. I think I liked it a little bit better than Batman vs Superman. Um, but yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah, it was a very interesting story, and it was it was a less complicated story than Batman vs Superman.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Definitely a more streamlined plot than BBS, but yes.
yeah.
Way more, yes.
I have like some specific points that I wrote down here. So I really liked the special effects on Krypton. I thought that was
Oh,
really
Krypton
cool.
was beautiful looking.
Yeah, it was stunning, and the special effects and all that was really cool. And the two young actors that played Clark as a kid. There was one that was like 10, and there's another one that played him as like a teenager.
Yeah.
They did a really good job. That scene with the school bus,
Oh yeah.
that was insane. That was incredible. That was such a
Mhm.
cool scene. Like I wonder how they filmed that. But like I said, the kid who plays Clark as a teen, think I have his name as Dylan Strayberry or
Mhm.
Sprayberry, something like that. He was amazing in that. I was very impressed with that. And the music seemed to set a really good vibe, and that insane tornado. Wow.
The tornado? See? Oh yeah,
That
the tornado.
tornado was crazy.
Very controversial scene.
Yeah.
That's a very controversial.
Did tornadoes actually get like that?
Oh no, man, Clark not saving his dad was the controversial.
Oh, true.
If you want to see a movie more about tornadoes, we'll talk about Twister some other week.
Oh, but like I don't have tornadoes in the Philippines, so I wouldn't know if tornadoes are actually like that.
And then the laser eyes. I love the laser eyes. I
Mhm.
totally
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
Like,
I totally forgot about that being one of Superman's superpowers until after I saw it. I was like, oh yeah. And I love that random like Sears shot. He had a shot over Smallville where it was a Sears, and I was like, oh yeah, Sears. Remember Sears? Sears isn't around anymore.
Product placement.
Pardon?
I said product placement.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of those. There's a lot of those in this movie.
Okay, I can't remember her name, but what's the name of the girl villain?
Feora.
Fayara?
Yeah, Feora.
Mhm.
I liked her.
She was
Yeah.
badass.
I always like when there's girl villains. They're pretty
Probably
great.
my favorite shot with Feora was the one where she was on the ground and she was like moving at super speed, and it was like that one shot where she just was like in the middle of the soldiers and they were just all unloading with their machine guns on her, and it wasn't even affecting her.
Oh
They were
yeah.
just all bouncing right off of her.
For me, it was when she took out the planes. Like when
Mhm.
she like just annihilated those warthogs coming in. Like they fired like the Gatling guns, and she was like, it's not affecting her at all. She just jumped and she just destroyed the town. Like, wow, that's awesome.
I know the Kryptonians in this movie were just badass all around, every
That
single one.
was so good, honestly.
And then I really liked there was the fight in the air that Superman had with Zod.
Oh,
Mhm.
that
That was really cool.
That was
really
probably one of my like favorite movie fights ever was Superman versus Zod.
yeah.
Because it's literally two unstoppable gods basically like fighting to the death, and a city is stuck in the middle of them just getting destroyed all around them.
Yeah, the destruction on here leveled like, oh my god.
That
And
was crazy. Like New York City would, and then a year and a half later, New York City is just back together. That would take years to clean up. But
Yeah.
the other there. First of all, Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, he's really good. He's also really hot.
He's just like Carol from the end of the movie.
yeah, I think he's hot. You know,
Literally, that's what caused me to write this down. Was like I saw that comment. I was like, I gotta mention that.
What are you smiling about, Captain? I'm sorry, sir. I just think he's really hot.
Henry Cavill. Yeah, that guy is like.
Another thing that I thought was really, really sweet was there was this little flashback memory of when Clark was a kid and he's playing in the garden and he ended up with like a towel as a cape and he makes his superhero pose with the towel. That was so.
Jonathan Kent's looking at him like, yeah, that's awesome.
It was so cute. Yeah. So yeah, well, those are my things that I really liked from Man of Steel.
Santino, what would you say of Man of Steel? Because you like the movie, obviously. What is it about the movie for you that just like sticks with you? What is it when when people say why do you like Man of Steel? What's like the first thing that always jumps to your mind?
All right, yeah, because the thing with this is like Man of Steel always to me is like the first Superman movie I ever watched. I never saw the Christopher Reeves. I never saw that Brandon Routh Superman movie that came out.
I could just hear the like almost disgust in your voice the way you said that.
No, I'm not disgusted. It's just like I would look honestly.
There's no comparison. There's no comparison.
I'm pretty sure I haven't really seen a Superman movie before this. I mean, I think I may have as a kid, but I don't remember it.
No, it's like this.
I watched the cartoon though.
Oh, nice. The animated one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, cause like that's the thing. I never really, to be honest, when I was growing up, I never really liked Superman as a superhero. I mean, like he's a typical Boy Scout. I'm like, no offense to anyone who likes Superman. I just didn't really like him when I was growing up. Like, okay, he's a Boy Scout who always wants to do good and all that. Yeah, okay, fine, yeah. And that's cool for people who do like it. But for me, I was like, I always thought Iron Man was cooler, Captain America was cooler, Thor, Spider Man. When I watched Man of Steel, it's like I like that Zack Snyder gave a humanity to him. That's always what sticks with me. The fact that Snyder gave a humanity to Superman, like he lost his father, and that scene with the tornado always sticks with me, like where Jonathan can't the dad puts his hand up and says no to don't let them use his don't use your power to save me, and
The world wasn't ready.
yeah, the world wasn't ready to see that, so don't he let his father die. He could have saved him, but he let his father die because he wasn't ready. And like even Clark says that I let my father die because he believed that the world wasn't ready for me to see my powers. So that's why I went hiding, and that's why I don't show myself. Like, yeah, I understand it. Like that's always what sticks with me. And I like the fact that there's a duality to it. Like Jonathan Kent is saying don't do this, but he also has his Kryptonian heritage where basically the hologram version of Jor-El says that you are meant to save this world, so you have to accept your destiny and be a hero. So when Zod comes down to Earth, like people always criticize this. I always don't get the criticism. Like Zod comes down to Earth, and Zod fights Superman, and people say that, oh my God, Superman like let these people die. Like he crashed into buildings. Like that's not what Superman is. Like, but Superman was like, this is his first fight against.
Exactly. What were they? What? Exactly. What were people expecting? He just started discovering his powers. Like he'd like used the like fighting powers of his powers for a couple of days, really. He'd always had the strength, the X-ray vision, the heat vision, but it's like he hadn't really needed to use them that much. Now he has no choice, and he doesn't have the type of training that the rest of the Kryptonians have. Yeah, so it's like it's not his fault that these buildings are getting destroyed. Like we said, these are two gods fighting each other, basically. They're going to destroy stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a conversation for Batman versus Superman.
No. We're talking Zod and Superman right now.
Okay.
Because people have said, why didn't Superman take the battle outside of the city to stop the city from being destroyed?
Because
how did and the people who say that, I'm like, did you watch the movie? Zod straight up said to him after the Kryptonian ship got destroyed, he said, this ends with your death or my death. Yeah. Zod was not going to stop, and he was so angry with Kal-El that he was just like, I'm going to destroy everything you hold dear, and the only way you can stop me is to kill me.
Yeah. So like people criticize him destroying the plants. Like I never saw that as criticism. Like Superman had no choice but to fight him, and Superman literally got his powers and learned how to use them in like a week or so. And Zod is this experienced general. So like it's a miracle actually that Superman won, because like this guy is like coming out of nowhere, and Superman just literally it's like going up against a boss in a game, like you're so inexperienced, and this guy is just like he's so experienced. There's no way there could not be collateral damage. One thing I really did like, honestly, from Man of Steel was honestly Lois Lane. Amy Adams' Lois Lane is the best version of Lois Lane I've ever seen. I mean, like I've seen a couple of Lois Lanes, and then, yes, the animated version of Lois Lane is also nice. But I like this Lois Lane. I like that she is strong, that she's independent, like she's going after Superman for her story, and she just wants to know. And when she finds out the truth of who Superman is, she lets the story go because she respects the decision of Clark to Anonymous.
Can I? Okay, so
yeah, go.
I think Amy Adams was. I have a weird thing with Amy Adams. There's something about her that bugs me. I can't say what it is. I didn't like her in Man of Steel, but I did like her more in Batman vs Superman. But I think she did a good job. But I think it's just Amy Adams in general just kind of bugs me a little bit. And yeah, there
I
are.
love Amy Adams. I love any role she plays. I love her.
Yeah.
Amy,
And that's what
Amy,
I'm saying. I feel like I feel bad whenever I say that because like she is good and she's in so much stuff, but it's just you ever had an actor that just bugs you for some reason and you don't know why?
oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
That's
Tom Felton.
Amy Adams for me.
Tom Felton.
Fair enough.
And
Tom-
you know,
No,
Tom-
it's just you don't like Draco Malfoy.
yeah.
I told you. Okay, we're
Okay.
we're like 15 minutes in and we've made our first Harry Potter reference.
Oh boy.
All right, yeah. Well, he's not good at anything after Harry Potter. But okay,
Oh,
we're
Man of
Okay,
Steel.
let's-
Man of Steel.
getting off track here. All right. So yeah, Chad, man, you have a weird history with Man of Steel.
Yes,
you
I
didn't
do.
like it at first.
I watched the trailers about 1 billion times before it came out. I went and saw it midnight on opening day, and I hated it. I walked out hating the movie. I was like, that was garbage. What the hell was that? I was like, they can't even get Superman right. And the weird thing is, I don't now, like in retrospect, I don't really know what. I mean, I do know. Uh, and then it's like I got to rewatch it a couple months later. Like I saw it for real cheap on sale, so I bought it, and I rewatched it, and I was just like, what didn't I like about this? And I think it was because I went in expecting the Marvel formula a little bit, and instead of like there is a difference between at least the way the DC world was when it first started and kind of now and the way the Marvel world is. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, the way Earth operates in that is very different from how the real world operates. Like in reality, Tony Stark's suit would have been taken from him. He would not have been allowed to keep that.
Yeah.
But in the DC, the way the world is in DC is more of how the world we live in would view Superman. Like he wouldn't just be viewed the way he was back in the 70s in the originals. Hey, look, this guy flew up to a tree and saved a cat and patted the girl on the head and flew away. No, that's not. That's the Superman of old. In the world we live in now, he would be viewed exactly as he was. We wouldn't trust him. The government would, like that, they'd feel safer seeing this guy who can fly through a building putting handcuffs on him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the thing because in this movie you have to update. You have to update the way the world, the way the superheroes are in general. Because
Yeah.
going
And
back to what I, yeah, sorry, Erica.
there's also a big difference, when you're going from like animated to live action to like
Yeah.
Exactly.
and I think one thing with older stories, and by older I mean like stories that like were written a long time ago, when you're making them now, sometimes you have to modernize them a little bit.
Yeah.
And I
Exactly.
think they did a good job. One thing though that I don't get is these 2 points here is like, for example, you know how the other part of the ship ends up in the Indian Ocean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where's the military on that side of the world?
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't have time to scramble their jets. I don't know.
I don't know, but like there's no like military even
Well,
trying
I mean,
to get
who claims the Indian Ocean? I mean, like, what nation would claim
Well,
that?
like when I think of the Indian Ocean, I think of like the Maldives. But anyways, that
I
was
don't know
something.
the world enough to.
And then something. And then how come they always end up landing right in New York City, even though they went out into the air?
Huh?
I mean, I know they have to do that, but still.
No, it's true because the Earth, when you're out in space and you're in a set position, the Earth is moving so fast that they would have wound up like on the other side of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Plot convenience.
We're just right in New York City again. We're all good.
Metropolis.
Metropolis. Not New York
It just
City.
looked like New York. And then in the next movie, it looks more like Chicago.
Isn't it supposed to be New York?
I don't know. I thought Metropolis was still in Kansas. No, because it's now it's on a
I have a
seaboard.
feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Okay,
Sorry,
small.
I couldn't resist that. I couldn't resist that. If I think of Kansas, I think of Wizard of Oz. I'm sorry.
One of the most famous quotes of all time.
Yeah. Wait, but Metropolis was based on New York. So yeah, in a way, yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on New York, but has some elements of Chicago, and I don't know. Okay, so another thing I liked about Man of Steel, honestly, Russell Crowe as Jor-El.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was great in this.
Yeah, and he was a hologram for like half the movie.
I love that part when he just like
Dad,
he
right?
like was like an NPC from a video game when he was just like telling Lois, shoot left, run right, shut the door, move your head.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, he's like the AI in a video game.
He reminded me a little bit of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I never thought of it like that.
No, just because like he came in and was giving directions, and it's like made me think of like when Obi-Wan Kenobi would come to Luke and mid-fight.
Yeah.
That's just what came into my head when I saw that.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. I also did like I like a conversation where with Zod and Jor-El's hologram, like that scene where like they're basically talking and you can tell that Zod really had a close. He had a friendship with Jor-El, you know, like they weren't enemies. Like, oh, I hate this guy. Like they respected each other. Yeah, they respected each other. Yeah.
I like the way he said it to Clark when he was talking to him later. There's not a day that goes by I don't regret killing your dad, but I wouldn't. But if I had to go back, I'd do it again.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm not gonna lie, that scene where Zod killed Jor-El, that is still one of my favorite scenes of the movie. I don't know why. I think it was the music, because like that's another thing we need to touch on. The music in this movie is amazing.
Great. I loved it.
To this day, I still listen to "Flight" by Hans Zimmer. I really do. I love it. It's one of those songs that just screams Superman. You know. Like,
It was, and it's because I remember also at the time, lots of people were like, "Oh, we missed the original Superman theme," and I'm like, "This ain't the original Superman anymore, you guys. This is." It's a new. We didn't get we didn't like when we got the Dark Knight trilogy. We didn't get the same Batman theme that we got from the Tim Burton days. We got a new one. This one, we didn't need the old Superman theme anymore. This was our new Superman, and with that, we got a new theme from Hans Zimmer, and it was awesome.
I loved it. Honestly, it's one of those that and the Iron Man suit up. The first one, you know, the one where Iron Man suits up with the Mark II and he flies.
Yep.
Those two are like ones like, yeah, that just screams flight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if I had any negatives, I would say that, wow, it's hard to find negatives in this one. Maybe the first hour kind of just jumped back and forth between flashbacks, but that's not really a grievance. To really
I like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because you get like someone like me who hasn't really watched too many superhero movies, you know, getting to see that, because I didn't really know. I knew general parts of Superman's backstory, but I didn't know most of it, and so getting that backstory kind of was like, oh yeah, you know, it made me understand it more. But one thing in the beginning, his part of the acting while they were on Krypton was just a little cringy.
Yeah, I asked you who, and you never told me who.
I don't know. It's just there was some parts
where. Was it
where
Zod, Jor-El, the Council?
It was the Council and his parents a little bit, I think. The acting, it was just a little over dramatic for me.
Yeah.
I can see that. Even Zod is a little. Michael Shannon definitely played it up being a villain.
I will find him.
Yeah, he did a good job, but just like
heresy.
It was just a little too much like, ah.
Okay, I get it.
Does that explain it?
I agree.
Does that sound?
It almost added to the charm of it. It did, but it was also like, we gotta remember these are aliens. Maybe they do have different ways of talking with each other.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I mean, that is the most. Okay, no, scratch what I just said. I've never reached that hard in my life. That was reaching like no other on my part.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, yeah, that was Alien. Come on. Okay,
I am so confused right now.
Don't worry about it.
he was reaching with the.
I was making an excuse for
Yeah.
over the top acting.
To be honest, okay. I'll tell you a very funny story when I watched Man of Steel. So when I watched Man of Steel, I came from school, and then I watched with my brother, my mom, right? So I had like this hot dog with me that I was eating when I watched it. Okay, this is where oh no, this is where it was funny, right? So I was eating it, right, and when Michael Shannon said heresy, destroy it, I laughed while the hot dog was in my mouth, so I started choking. It was in my throat. I was choking on the hot dog because like, oh my. And then like my mom was like, Santi, what's wrong? It's turning blue. I couldn't stop laughing at the bad acting on Michael. So I ended up choking, right? So I had to
Now, anytime I watch this movie, I'm gonna think of you choking on a hot dog, Santino.
You just ruined it. Anytime I watch Man of Steel, as soon as I see heresy, I'm gonna think of you eating a hot dog.
and I'm choking, right? And then my mom, Sandy's turning blue, like I think he's choking. It's like, and then my mom's like, grab the water, like, and then I had to like wash it down. And after I stabilized, she was like, can you please not overeat while watching this? I was like, overeating. I just choked on it a bit because the acting was bad. And then mom's like, yeah, sure it was. She didn't believe me.
Oh, I'm so glad I wasn't eating or drinking anything when you told that story.
We have been laughing a lot in this. Like, I have a lump in my throat right now.
I do too. I'm like, I got tears coming out my eyes.
All right. So yeah.
So to get it back on track.
Sorry about that.
So no, you're good. That was needed. I love that. But yeah, to get back where we're at. So yeah, overall, just overall to me, Man of Steel is like one of my favorite origin stories from any of the comic book movies we've gotten. It's like right up there in my top 3. Because I think they just really did a really good job of reintroducing Superman. We got the brief glimpses of his childhood growing up, but they pushed forward with the story of Zod coming back, and I like that they focused on that once we hit the midway point, and it wasn't like some random last 15 minutes. And I thought it did a really good job humanizing him, and updating him for modern times. And the ending to me with him killing Zod, one, I've never understood why everyone suddenly thought they knew who Superman was. Superman doesn't kill. Yes, he does. I don't understand why. To me, that was just a bunch of average Joes coming off of watching The Dark Knight going, oh, Batman doesn't kill, so neither does Superman. Yes,
also,
Superman killed.
What were they going to do with him if he didn't kill him?
And you know what? I have thrown that out there so many times to people who say that. Nobody has ever been able to give an actual reason for what they could have done with Zod. Zod had to die in that spot that they were at. There was no way to subdue him. There was no way to lock him up. Nothing. Because they didn't understand Kryptonians as well as they obviously do in like the cartoon series where they're like 100 episodes in or something. Superman had no choice. It was kill Zod or that family died. And he made a choice. And you could see in his face.
He didn't want to do it.
Snapped his neck. Exactly. He did not want to do that. But he's like, I don't have a choice. I have to do this.
Yeah, exactly. And then I wanna dive a bit deeper into how they changed Superman from the comics and Batman in the comics later when we discuss BVS. But Superman still is Superman.
I don't know the comics, just so you guys know.
Yeah. It's fine, and I'll explain when we get into it. Superman didn't want to do it. It's not like he was a murderer. It's not like if you play the Injustice games where he becomes a tyrant and kills everyone. The guy didn't. The guy didn't. That Injustice is a story. Erica from the comic books.
Comic.
Yeah. But Superman didn't want to kill Zod. He begged Zod to stop. He said, like,
He was screaming the whole time, "Stop this!
Yeah,
Don't make me do this."
Does anyone like forget that? Like, he didn't want Zod to kill.
Yeah, he didn't just like murder him. He had to kill him to put him down.
Yeah, and I don't understand why people were so upset that like Superman should not kill. Like, yeah, but when you're given a choice between the villains living and the family dying, man, if I was Superman, I would snap his neck, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have a choice. He had to do it.
Exactly.
And it pained him to do it. He wasn't like happy. He wasn't laughing when he was done.
Yeah.
It
And he was
broke
like
him.
screaming.
Yeah,
And
Exactly.
then whenever he like gets angry and started screaming like that was kind of hot.
Yeah. Well, that broke the mood. Right there. We're like, these deep emotions. He was hot.
All right. You know what? That's okay.
No, he was hot in that like he had those deep emotions, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. See that?
Like
that
I think it's great that they have a male character that's having those deep emotions instead of just being like, oh, I'm Superman, I don't feel, I just save people, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much wraps up Man of Steel. So just quick 20-second closing thoughts from both of you.
Okay, yeah.
I liked it. It was good. I definitely, it was good enough that it was like 10 p.m. and I was like, I kind of want to watch the next one. So I watched the next one and I was up until 2:30. So
Yeah. For me, Man of Steel ranks top 3 in origin stories. And like I don't rank it. So my 3 favorite origin stories are Iron Man, Man of Steel, and Into the Spider-Verse. Because you can argue that Into the Spider-Verse is Miles Morales' origin story.
It is. No, that is an origin story.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So those 3 are my favorite origin movies: Man of Steel, Iron Man, and Into the Spider-Verse. Those 3 are like the perfect way. That's how you do an origin story. Show the hero, show the struggles of being a hero. You know, and they all did that. Iron Man did that. Spider-Verse did that. Man of Steel. How about you, Chad? What's your final thoughts on it?
I love Man of Steel. It will always be one of my favorites in the DC EU, Worlds of DC, whatever they call it. And just, yes, like Santino said, one of my favorite origin stories ever. I thought they did an amazing job updating it for modern times, for the way the world really would view a figure, a being like Superman. And that actually leads us into the next movie, Batman vs. Superman, the movie that
So controversial to this. It is
still divisive to this day, all over a few choices from Warner Brothers.
All right. So
But-
I don't know what the choices are yet. And I have my points here.
Oh, we'll get into them.
yeah,
So
like-
I'll start with the most obvious one, the theatrical cut. I'm just going to say it right now. The theatrical cut should not exist because that's not really a fair image of the film, in my opinion. That was a chopped up mess that never should have been released. And it was a very stupid choice by Warner Brothers to do it. So for the rest of this, Santino and I are only talking the Ultimate Edition. I'm not sure which one Erica saw, but you said you enjoyed it overall, so maybe you did see the Ultimate Edition. I'm not 100%.
I just downloaded it from that site that Santino sent me.
More
Yeah.
than likely, I think it probably was the Ultimate Edition then.
really?
It was like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Oh.
it was the Ultimate.
It was Ultimate Edition.
Oh.
But yeah, so we're not talking the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut does not exist, in my opinion. That's just some bonus stupid disc that they threw in, and it was the messed up version that got released in theaters.
Yeah.
So, Erica, go. What was your thoughts?
I thought it was really interesting. My main points were like one criticism I have was the plot point was a little like really confusing. I was like, wait, what happened with that guy? Who's that guy again? Who's he getting paid by? Or it was a little bit all over the place, but it did come together in the end, so that's one good thing. But I feel like they could have made it a little more a little less all over the place with regards to the plot point. Ben Affleck was great. He did a really good job.
Oh, I'm on top
yeah.
Best Batman ever.
And I really like this theme of their moms. They brought their moms into it everywhere, and it just kind of, I don't know, I thought that was like a really heartwarming thing, you know, like they had in the beginning they had young Batman, and his mom had just died, and he was sad about that, and then we had Superman going to see his mom all the time, and at the very end, where Superman's like, Martha, save Martha, and then Batman's like, what? And then it just kind of ended like he stopped hurting him because he needs to help Superman save his mom. That was just kind of all that made my heart all mushy.
She's gonna cry when she gets to Shazam then.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no, what does that mean?
No.
You'll find out later.
Okay. And then when Wonder Woman came out, I was just like, fuck yeah, girl power. Like she just arrived and like saved the day, and I was just like, hell yeah.
Awesome guitar solo that.
Yes.
Yeah, when you get the Wonder Woman
that was
theme
actually the
song in there,
ringtone on my phone like 2 years after the movie came out.
that's awesome. And the actress who played Senator Finch, good job.
Mrs. Incredible, yeah, from The Incredible.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
I never connected those two until you just said it.
Yeah, Mrs. Incredible from The Incredibles.
Now I hear it. Wow, I can't believe I never realized
like
it. Wow.
she's the voice.
She's the voice.
He's right. That's the voice of Mrs. Incredible.
Okay, I was like, did they do a live action Incredibles? When did that?
No, she voiced Mrs. Incredible. I can't know that, Chad. Like, yeah,
I can't connect everything.
What? Can I keep talking now?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
The whole ending fight scene was insane.
Yes.
What is that thing?
Doomsday.
The Doomsday thing. That was insane. Like holy shit. Like, oh my god. I was like, what is this thing? And it was like, oh my god, I totally cried at the end. Oh, so much.
Yeah.
But what my big criticism that kind of just ruined it a little bit was Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Okay.
Let's address the elephant in the room with Jesse Eisenberg real quick.
Can I say something about it first?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know as much about Lex Luthor as you guys do, but it honestly it just felt like it was Jesse Eisenberg being goofy.
I get what I've said this before. I get what they were going for.
He felt more like the Joker.
I get what they were going for. They did not execute it properly. They were going for the young, eccentric boy genius, and they did not do it right. So I can tolerate him. I can stand the character and his portrayal of it. But anyone who complains about it, I will never disagree with you. I will never fight with anyone because that is, to me, that is a valid complaint. It really is. That did take me and a lot of other people out of the movie.
I did not like it either. I was like, okay, yeah, there are some things you can't change, and that's one of them. Like I don't think that they should have done that. Eric, wait, before I continue, Erica, you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, the other thing, like with like I said, I don't know Lex Luthor very well as a villain, and like I think the villain that Jesse Eisenberg played was a good villain. He just didn't feel like Lex Luthor. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, and this is something that always drives me crazy, and I know there's no reasonable explanation, but how on earth do a pair of glasses hide Clark from being Superman?
That is a tradition that started in the 30s. That's never going away.
I know it did. I know they're not going to change it, but it's more just like if that was the case now, it's like, oh yeah, I look like Superman, but I wear glasses, but I'm not Superman.
Yeah, like, you have the same face. Just put glasses on. It's gonna be the same.
I know.
He doesn't even style his hair differently. Okay.
Exactly.
And I know it's not a thing that's gonna change ever. Of course, it's part of it.
Exactly.
That's how
it is.
It's an age-honored tradition. It's never going away. I mean, and it is something to laugh about because it is funny because he looked exactly the same.
but with glasses.
Exactly. But Santino, go ahead. You were about to dive into your stuff, I think.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Erica, do you have more?
Yeah,
Those are my main things, but I'm sure as conversation comes up, I'll add in.
Okay.
So okay,
Go ahead, Santino.
what I really want to talk about is like, okay, so when I first watched BVS, I watched it in IMAX, so that Doomsday fight was amazing to see in IMAX. Yeah,
So did I.
yeah, and to be fair, there were some good. To be fair, like there were moments in that movie where like when Wonder Woman came down, my mom was like, "Yes, Wonder Woman."
Yes.
She no like her history with that is she watched the original like what Linda Hamilton Wonder Woman when she was young. That was her hero. So when Wonder Woman came down and like blocked Doomsday's beam for Batman, that was like not like whoa, bro. She was really astounded. But I want to talk about Batman for a second because I think the main controversial thing here in this entire movie is Batman because Batman in this movie is a different kind of Batman. Like Erica, I don't know how many Batman movies you've watched. Maybe this is your first. I don't know. Is it?
I mean, I probably saw some as a kid, but I think this might be my first Batman.
Yeah. Okay. So like
I remember at least.
The usual Batman films, like he has this rule, like the one rule where he doesn't kill and all ever like, and a lot of people really when watching BVS, their main complaint was like, why is Batman a murderer? Because he does.
He's not a murderer. People need to learn what that word means.
Yeah, people are saying all these things like superheroes are there to save, and sometimes when you need to save someone, you have to kill someone because otherwise.
Well, no, there's a difference. Like I know what you're talking about, Santino. Like during the big chase where he's flipping cars and the criminals are getting killed. Yes, criminals are getting killed, but Batman is not murdering someone. He's not putting a gun to someone's head and pulling the trigger and blowing their head off.
Yeah,
there's a difference between people getting killed and murdering people. Batman does not murder.
He did that to try and get the kryptonite, anyways. So
yeah, the thing is, in my opinion, Batman is not a murderous guy. He's just really desperate. The Batman in this movie is a Batman who's desperate to stop the world's biggest threat, which in his mind is Superman.
Well, and this was a broken Batman also.
Yeah, I mean, like this guy is damaged. Like this is not like the Nolan Batman where he's not damaged, but in this like it really shows like Jason Todd's outfit. Okay, sorry. For Erica, Jason Todd is Robin in Batman has a sidekick like Robin. So like basically Robin is dead in this universe. And
Joker killed him.
He was killed by Joker. So anyway, yeah, Robin was killed and Batman is basically alone and he's mad, he's angry, and this is basically the Batman from like the Dark Knight Returns, essentially, where he is really just okay. Again, for Erica's sake, the Dark Knight Returns is a comic book where Batman is a bit older and he is basically a bit more ruthless. And this is what I'm talking about. The different. Yeah, sorry.
I thought that this was so he's already Batman.
Oh yes, he's been Batman for a long time.
Yeah, this Batman is very seasoned and he's desperate. So he sees Superman as the biggest threat to mankind, and rightfully so. I mean, like we see his point of view, and I love it.
Which, by the way, that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Watching the end fight of Man of Steel from the street level point of view.
Yeah, from Bruce Wayne's
perspective. Oh yeah, that was really cool. That was really, really cool.
Yeah, because if I was Batman and I saw it from that point of view, yeah, I would think Superman would be the enemy. Because he literally destroyed half the city. And he knew who Superman really was and why.
And he didn't know, and he didn't see it from Superman's point of view. And he was already a damaged man at that point. And he was already filled with rage, and he let it consume him.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where I want to bring it back to what I've said like a couple episodes before. Adaptation versus inspiration. This movie is not an adaptation of superhero comic books. It's an inspiration. What Zack Snyder did was he took elements from different stories and used them to make it work in BVS. That's what he did. He didn't. This Batman is basically he took some of Dark Knight Returns. He took some of the Arkham Batman for his fighting style. He took some of the Detective Batman from Detective Comics. He got a lot to he got a lot to make to shape this Batman. It's not like he's pulling directly from one, and that's the thing. That's the thing with always with superhero movies. You can never adapt. You can inspire, you can get inspiration, but you can never adapt properly because comic books are a different medium entirely from.
Exactly. The only way you can do a proper adaptation is animated.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
And even then, they screw it up sometimes.
yeah,
The Killing
exactly,
Joke.
because it doesn't make any sense to make it directly adapting it because like um Batman and Superman have like so many versions of themselves. There's a Russian Batman.
Oh
There's
yeah.
there's a Nazi Batman. There's a Nazi Superman. There's a lot of those versions. So like you pulling from one and adapting one it doesn't make sense because there are
Plus,
different.
if people wanted, like I saw so many people, oh, it's nothing like the Nolan Batman. Well, then go back and watch those again. Why do you want the exact same thing that you just got?
Exactly. I
Yeah,
hate
and it's not like
Ugh.
whenever they do remakes, it's like, I mean, there's some classic movies that you just can never remake. Like,
yeah,
but
like Wizard of
with,
Oz.
like Wizard. Oh my God, if they ever remake Wizard of Oz, I will. No, 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 no. They cannot do that.
They
I
might.
will not let them do that. It will be an insult to Julie Garland.
On the 100th anniversary, they're going to announce the remake.
Oh god,
No.
that won't happen.
If we do, then we're doing an episode about me ranting about that.
Yeah, go for it.
But with movies about like superheroes and things like, alternate universes and
Yeah,
I don't know, I feel like
yeah, the rules are looser.
remakes they're a different, completely different story.
No, there are things that you can never.
Like with Wizard of Oz, it's a story. There's a story that you can make it, and there's that one story, and you can't really make it into another story.
Yeah.
But with Batman and Superman and all these superhero movies, there's these core elements, and then you can go and create an entire story from these core elements.
Exactly. That's the whole point. There are some things you can for superhero movies you can only get inspiration. You can only take elements and make it your own movie. You can never directly adapt because that would be painful. There are some things though that you have to adapt properly, and that is Harry Potter because there's no different version. That's my second Harry Potter.
And they failed at adapting it properly.
Yeah, there's no different version of Ronald Weasley. There's no different version of Hermione Granger. You have to get it directly from the one source, which is J.K. Rowling's books. You can never adapt. Yeah.
We're getting off topic again.
We're gonna go off topic, but yeah, that's the point. Or Harry Potter.
And what I loved about the Batman that we got in this movie was it was like instead of other movies that have Batman in it, this one, instead of the arc of starting on top, falling to the bottom, working his way back up, this one started him at rock bottom. So he could only go up, and he did. Now, when we get to the Martha scene, which I know it's a meme, it's a joke, it's another one where, like with Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, I get what they were going for. The problem is whoever the hell wrote it didn't do it right. They went the easiest, cheapest path to get to the connection of their moms both having the exact same name and Batman finally like snapping out of the rage that had consumed him and realizing this guy is a man who, yes, he's an alien, but he's lived among us and he's just as human as I am. Yeah. Yes,
what's wrong with this? What's wrong with the Martha thing? I don't get it.
What? Would you ever look at a complete stranger and say, I have to save my mother and use her first name?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You'd say, I have to save my mom. Yeah, but because both of their parents, Martha Wayne, Martha Kent, it was just, that's a coincidence from whenever the characters were created. It's been there for a long time. And they wanted to take advantage of it. But like I said, they wrote it so just cheaply. They needed a better writer to come in and write that scene better.
Wait, Erica.
Okay. Can I add in just one thing here with the Martha part?
Yeah.
Is I think it might have been like if he just says mom, there's no, because Batman doesn't know that Superman is Clark Kent yet, does he?
No.
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 So that might have been part of it.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
Like
They needed a better writer to do that better. Because, like I said, nobody goes around referring to their parents by their first name to a complete stranger who has no idea what they're talking about.
Desperation, I guess. Oh, Erica, you were saying something?
How would you have done it?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But it's laughed at and criticized because it wasn't done well.
Okay.
And I hate to admit it, I don't think it was done well. I get what they were doing, but they didn't do it right.
Now that you bring that up, that actually, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean,
it's unfortunate because that was the pivotal point that the whole fight was building towards, short of one of them getting killed, was how do we stop this? And they chose to go with that, which I think is interesting, but it is cringe to listen to. And I love this movie to death, and I hate that I have to admit stuff like that, but it's true. And I have to be honest with myself when there is stuff in movies that I love, like BVS, and there's stuff like that where it's like, it does fall flat, and it sucks that it falls flat, but I wouldn't be doing the movie a fair service if I lied about it.
Yeah. But for me, like, the ending, I'm just like, what? Because okay, let me just talk here. So I was first crying. I was like, no, Superman can't die. Superman's not dead. He's just got to be alive. I was like, oh my God, Superman's dead. We have like a Facebook group chat for the three of us. I sent it a gif of basically someone's like, why? and then at the end, when they put the handful of dirt on the coffin, and then it sits there, and then you see the dirt float in the air, and then it goes to the end. I was like, no, what? You can't do that.
Yeah.
And like, what? Is he alive or not?
Oh, you'll find out in a couple movies.
I'm not sure if you're satisfied with the answer, but okay.
Well, let's just leave it at that. She'll find out in a few movies.
Let's leave it.
She's still got Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman, and then she can watch Justice League.
Yeah.
It was so sad though. Like when I watched the sequence of like all his funerals, I was like, what? No.
I will agree. They did those funerals. They did the funeral scenes so well.
I love the duality of it.
They felt so real.
And they announced that he was Clark Kent too.
No, they didn't.
They didn't?
They
put in the newspaper that Clark Kent got killed during the attack in the city.
I thought they announced that Superman was Clark Kent.
No.
Okay.
Nope. Secret identity. No, because they had Superman's funeral in Metropolis, and then Martha, Lois, and some of the family had Clark's funeral in Kansas.
And Batman and Wonder Woman were there.
And Batman and Wonder Woman. Yep.
Okay, I get it a little bit more now. But yeah, that makes more sense then, because I was like, why is there a coffin? But what was in that coffin in Metropolis?
Nothing. It was empty.
Yeah, it was just empty.
It was an empty, like it was a placeholder. But
yeah.
Can I just gush about Ben Affleck as Batman?
Yes, do it. Best Batman ever.
Best version of Batman I've ever seen.
And you get to see his butt.
And
we got to see Wonder Woman, so there.
Yeah.
You got his butt, you got Wonder Woman.
Hey, no. Let's not get into that. Wonder Woman is hot as fuck too. That shot of Ben Affleck's butt, I was like, honestly, I don't think that was necessary. It's like he was just like in the shower, and then he looked behind and saw the suit.
The guy got.
I know if you watch the Ultimate Cut.
What? Wait. One at a time.
Yeah.
Chat.
Yeah. I just said Affleck got ripped as hell for this movie. He wanted to show off that.
Yeah, he did. But
I mean, if you watch a movie from like a couple of years before he makes this, I mean, he's always like, Affleck's always been pretty well built, I'd say, like pretty good size. But I mean, he's enormous in this movie compared to how he normally looks.
Oh yeah.
And Gal Gadot, I'm not sure how you say it, but Cher as Wonder Woman, she's amazing, and she's hot too. She's really hot. and Yeah, but when she came in and used her reflector shield, and she came in, and then you heard the little Wonder Woman theme song, I was just like, yes,
Yes, that was so fun to
like
see.
feminist empower moment, the girl saves the guy.
Yeah, that was awesome. That
Mm-hmm.
was awesome. The ta na 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 that was like kick out.
That was really bad, Santino.
That was really bad. I can't sing. I can't sing. So that's the best.
Hey, your singing's better than mine. There's a reason I never try.
Sorry.
So, so yeah, Santino, I agree. He this version of Batman is he's still my favorite. Specifically, BVS. Justice League. Oh, that is a whole different animal.
Is it still played by Ben Affleck?
Oh, you'll see. You'll see when you get there.
No warehouse fight, chat is still.
Yes, that warehouse fight was ripped straight out of Arkham Asylum.
Yes, I forgot to mention that. That was in my notes. That was amazing.
That was awesome.
The way he utilized his gadgets, the thing with the Nolan Batman, he never really utilized his gadgets to an effect, right? This one, he grapple hooked the box to hit the other guys. Wow, and then he used what was that? The EMP bombs to disable the guns. That is cool. See,
his whole trap that he had set up for Superman was amazing.
Yeah, the
armor he was wearing, right out of Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, that was
amazing. I always felt like whenever they had, Batman in one of those robot suits, I was like, is that necessary? But in this one, it makes total sense because he has to fight Superman. But
and the voice that they gave him, I loved that it was more of a voice modular instead of Christian Bale's growly.
Like this.
Oh my god! I'm so glad they got rid of that.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. I'm glad.
I'm Batman.
I'm glad that his voice modulator was that. See, that makes sense. I'm glad people use that. I'm glad that that makes sense that he would have a voice modulator to change his voice.
And you know what? I actually preferred this Alfred to the Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, no contest. Jeremy
Irons was amazing.
He was great.
I loved what a smartass he was. Just
yes,
the whole
he was
movie.
sassy.
Because the thing is,
he was sassy.
What I love this change because in every Batman movie before this, Alfred's I'm gonna serve my
butler.
Yeah, he's not an equal to Batman, but in this one they spar, they go off I love that scene where he's Alfred says, even you are too old not to die young, not for lack of trying. Yeah, wow.
Or what else did he say? He said something where he was you broke into this certain wine cellar. You're not going to leave any wine for the next generation of Waynes. Then under his breath, he's like, not that there's going to be a next generation.
Oh, yeah, the sass. The sass. He's just laying out the sass there.
And Batman just takes it all. He doesn't even care. He's just like, go ahead, old man. Talk shit all day. I don't care.
Jeremy,
I'm Batman. You're not.
Honestly, this is the best version of Batman and Alfred. I love Alfred in this. Because Alfred in the previous incarnations, he was just a butler. But in this one, he's actively helping Batman out. He's helping.
See, I didn't even know that he was a butler. I thought he was his assistant. His kind of guy.
That was another one. They did a great job updating it.
Yeah, I love it. I love how Alfred takes control of the plane when Batman is fighting the guys. He's just there driving it because he's that's how Batman and Alfred are friends. And they're not Alfred's not subservient to Batman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Batman vs Superman, we definitely pointed out a lot of our positives. We pointed out the negatives that are there for those who have hung around and still been listening. Yes,
we talked about Ben Affleck's butt.
Yeah. See, that's how I know Erica watched the Ultimate Cut because Ben Affleck's butt wasn't in the theater.
Right, because that was the R-rated version.
Yeah. So now, see, the answer was there the entire time, Chad, that she watched the Ultimate Cut because Ben Affleck's butt. That was the answer.
We should just title this Ben Affleck's butt.
Amazing stuff we've gotten out of this. Man of Steel, we're talking about choking on hot dogs. Now we're talking about men's butts. Well, what a great memory we're always going to have of the first. Erica's memories of the first two of the worlds of DC. But overall, let's start to wrap it up. Overall, to me, I'll start, then we'll jump to you guys. To me, Batman vs Superman really is. It still is one of my favorite movies. I will have to say, Man of Steel is probably the better film by quite a bit. But I love Batman vs Superman. I love that we got one of the best Batmans. I love the updating of the world. I love the continuation of Superman's story and how the world still views him. Overall, and you know what? Maybe they did rush the death of Superman, but you know what? It fit in the context of the story that they told. I was fine with it. So overall, I love Batman vs Superman. I can watch it any day of the week. The final fight, amazing. Batman, amazing. Wonder Woman, amazing. Superman, amazing. So I love everything about it, even with some of the flaws that I did point out.
How about you, Erica?
I really liked Batman vs Superman. I thought it was really good. It was definitely a different feeling of a movie, a different vibes, if that makes sense. And the plot line was a little confusing, and I feel like they could have made it a little bit more clear at points, but it kind of you figure it all out by the end. I really liked it. I definitely like hearing your opinions. It definitely clears a lot of things up for me that I was still a little confused about. My only criticism was like Jesse Eisenberg. He just felt like an evil, like, I don't know. I just can't. Jesse Eisenberg just doesn't feel like a villain to me.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's done too many kind of goofy, awkward roles to actually be taken seriously as a villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot, and I'm really excited to see the next few ones.
Nice.
Santino?
So, me, final thoughts. Batman vs Superman. Again, weird history with that one because I liked it when it came out in IMAX. I watched it again in a regular theater, and then I hated it for a bit, and then I liked it again more and more after I saw the Ultimate Cut. So I think Batman vs Superman is good. It's a great film. There are some people out there who like bring it to high praise, like it's the best superhero movie of all time.
No.
I don't think so, but it's definitely not bad. It's great, but I don't.
It is not the dumpster fire some people make it out to be who saw the theatrical cut once in 2016 and haven't seen it again since.
Yeah,
I haven't even seen the theatrical release.
Yeah, because you saw Ben Affleck's butt, the ultimate. But yeah, no, but like, oh my god, this is gonna be a fun episode to listen to when I play it back. But yes,
this is gonna be so fun to edit. I'm gonna sit and listen to word butt so many times.
But yeah, going back on topic, it's not a masterpiece that some people say. It's like, oh my god, it's a perfect movie. It's not a perfect movie by any stretch, but it's not bad. It's high enough for me to like it a lot and rewatch it like yearly. I remember I watched BVS really to revisit it, and it ages well. That's what I can say. It ages well.
Yes.
Yeah,
definitely. It still holds up to me.
Yeah, it's like Prisoner of Azkaban. It ages well. Like it really it still holds up despite what they did to Ron in that movie. But yeah, it holds up.
3 Harry Potter references in one episode.
That's 3. All right.
Now that I've joined, it's gonna be a regular thing.
I was gonna say, now I'm getting scared. People are gonna turn this into a drinking game. Take a shot every time they bring up Harry Potter.
All right.
So I think that wraps it up. So everyone listening, thank you. I hope you enjoyed our thoughts. Next week is going to probably be a little scary because we have Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman.
One bad, one good.
Two very conflicting movies up against each other. But And probably just like anyone listening, you're probably looking forward to what we're going to talk about. I'm honestly really excited to hear what Erica's going to say about Suicide Squad and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I'm too. I saw Suicide Squad like right when it came out once in theater, but I don't remember it at all. I just remember.
Perfect.
Oh, and Chad, for sure there will be Harry Potter references.
Oh, I guarantee it. I'm at the point where I'm sure we're not going to go a week without him now.
No, because in Wonder Woman, Ares is.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. No spoiling. Don't spoil anything.
All right. So all right.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Guys, thanks for listening in. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay, there we go. Hey everyone, welcome to Eternal Midnight. I'm Chad. I'm here with Santino.
Yes. Hello,
okay,
everyone.
Go over.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Well, you gave us our first blooper. Thank you.
I had to stop. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know what to say. All right.
All right. Everyone, game face, breathe.
All right.
This is going.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
I got. All right. Okay. Ready. Go.
The game.
Yes.
Go fuck. Go. All right.
All right.
I'm good.
Are you good?
Okay, give me a few more minutes.
Few more minutes?
No, let me drink some water.
I'm here with Santino. Yes. No, I had to stop. Like I wasn't used to that. Like, oh wait, oh my God.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Someone
recorded. Let's do this. I'm good.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Silencio. And here we go.